sweeping over the city. Those explosions at airfields and military facilities, and Delta Force, that elite Delta Force going in and grabbing Maduro and his wife in the dead of night. You can imagine they were probably asleep. And how this operation was carried out exactly, we do not know. They were clearly well prepared. They knew exactly where to find Maduro and his wife. We are told by sources that the CIA had perfect intelligence as to where they were, and that clearly was the case since they did capture them. We also don't know whether others were involved on the ground, whether the CIA perhaps had assets, whether he called in and said, I'm going to surrender. We do not know those details at this point. But Delta Force had a successful mission. They went in, they grabbed Maduro. Whether he surrendered or not, we do not know, but it certainly did seem a great surprise. And with those military assets, it tells you that Maduro did not know what was coming, and he was flown out of the country. I think it's highly unlikely there are still forces on the ground. Generally, these missions are done, and the Delta Force and the others are out of there. But those scenes from Caracas and those explosions and the smoke rising from that city are remarkable indeed. Whit.
Yes, they are. Absolutely. Let's bring in Colonel Steve Ganyard. And Steve, President Maduro, as we noted there, and his wife both captured. Where could they be taken, and what happens next?
Yeah, probably, you saw in the video there, you saw those special operations helicopters. So they probably would have put him on one of the special operations, the Army Delta Force helicopters, and flown him offshore. Now, whether they had enough gas to get all the way out to where the USS Ford, the aircraft carrier, is, that's a question. But from the Ford, they can fly him all the way to the United States, perhaps stopping in Roosevelt Roads in Puerto Rico, where the U.S. buildup has been most apparent. But right now, it becomes a law enforcement issue, and he will be tried based on those the indictment back in 2020. So this may be, as Secretary Rubio said, this may be the end of the military action or what was necessary. No doubt the U.S. will keep the forces offshore to make sure that probably the next step is going to be free and fair elections. Remember that one of the opposition.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So everything is working fine. Hello, check. All right. My whole dang thing was I tripped over a wire and yanked everything out last video. All right. So it seems that everything went pretty good. The diversion with the explosions and everything worked out perfectly. They do have him. He's probably on his way. Who knows, back here or somewhere. But don't stop there, Trump. You know, don't stop there. Keep going. We got a couple targets here in the U.S. that could be eliminated. Some very sick people. So keep on doing what you're doing, right? Keep it up. You know, we'll never be the same again. You know, so we might as well go for the gusto. Might as well do it. You know? No, we've already taken over Venezuela pretty much. We're going to give them free stuff. You know, also now they can have elections and stuff. Yeah, California's next. Indiana probably before. Well, these new bombers and everything, you can't even see them. They're invisible.
And how the country will run and what happens to the people of Venezuela. Many questions going forward. Steve Ganyard, Martha Raddatz, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
This robotic puppy is so lifelike, it actually fooled my neighbor who's a veterinarian. I've been a grandmother.
Trafficking conspiracy in the world. I want to bring up Juan Hernandez, who was in Honduras, and he was convicted of drug trafficking. In fact, the Justice Department said he was at the center of the largest and most violent drug trafficking conspiracy in the world, helping to bring 400 tons of cocaine into the U.S. He was recently given a full pardon at the end of November by President Trump. So we have that convicted criminal who was released by President Trump, and now overnight, this arrest and capture of Venezuela's president.
Yeah, we've seen a number of people pointing out that contradiction. And Steve, the Trump
All right,
administration
so
also has
they-
accused Maduro himself
let-
of narco-terrorism. Why then has there been this recent escalation with Venezuela?
Well, the Trump administration has an idea that they call the Trump corollary, and that is an extension of the old Monroe Doctrine. That is a re-emphasis on security in the Western Hemisphere. And so the White House sees Venezuela as the source of many problems, not only in South America, not only in the Western Hemisphere, but around the world because of their connections to Hezbollah, to the oil that gets shipped offshore and helps keep the Russian war machine going in Ukraine. And so given the connection between drugs and illicit oil transfers, the administration says now is the time to stop this, because the next step is where does the Cuban situation fit into all this, which is also propped up by Venezuelan oil.
And how the country will run and what happens to the people of Venezuela. Many questions going forward. Steve Ganyard, Martha Raddatz, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right, there you go. So now we got control of all the oil in Venezuela. You know, and they've been they're in the United States, Trump, and I know, you know, and many of these people know that certain people, clubs, gangs, whatever, have connections with them here in the USA. So you might as well not stop there. You might as well firebomb everything, air fuel bomb it. It's disgusting anyways. These people in our boy, Trump's all pissed off at Indiana. Indiana's probably be next. They ain't going along with the program or something. They're not doing something with the voting polls or something like that. And, you know, everyone and what I've been watching is, you know, Indiana's a red state with Trump, but now they're turning on him or something like that. Or they got caught doing bad stuff and Trump found out about it. And he's like, what the hell? So, yeah, firebomb them all. They're a bunch of crazy, from what everyone's saying, a bunch of bikers or something gone crazy. Just gone completely nuts. Spreading disease, drugs, fentanyl, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but probably you might have to firebomb certain areas to kill the disease. You might have to. You might have to do that, Mr. Trump. And we're also finding that these people are connected with these gangs and clubs and organizations and stuff that are running these government facilities and things. And that's why people have been tortured, is because they're not getting the care, they're not getting the help they need. Right? They're literally denying people stuff. And it's, to me, it's a suicide squad. It's a government that's been weaponized by these people. You know, there's even gang members inside the police departments. There's gang members inside the court system, inside the healthcare system, inside the SNAP benefit thing and everything. You know, that's how they do it. They take a little bit from here and give it to one of their club members or gang members, and you suffer. You know? So the country we know now is, or the USA is, been infiltrated. There's even these gang members within the power companies, your electric power companies. Yeah, inside the offices monkeying with the bills. Uh, let's see, for the past 5 months, you've only used $100 worth of electricity, but winter's coming, so now your electric bill is $500 because it's so cold out. But it's just a scam. No, I don't agree with Trump on everything he does. I don't. Not at all. I think some of the stuff is shady, but we're so deep lost in this madness. The only thing you can do is air fuel bomb it and kill the disease or whatever. I don't know. It's just crazy. But this is part one. Oh, wait. Was this part one? This might be part one. I don't know. But let's listen to what Bernie Sanders is saying.
Threats posed by AI. What are you most specifically fearful of?
Fearful of logic. This is the most consequential technology in the history of humanity. It will transform our country. It will transform the world. And we have not had in Congress, in the media, and I'm glad you're doing this show, or among the American people, the kind of discussion that we need. Some examples. First of all, who is pushing this revolution in technology? It is the richest people in the world. Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Peter Thiel. Multi-billionaires are pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into implementing and developing this technology. What is their motive? You think they're staying up nights worrying about working people and how this technology will impact those people? They are not. They are doing it to get richer and even more powerful. That's issue number one. Who is pushing this technology? What does that mean for all of us? Number two, economically. This is what Elon Musk, putting hundreds of billions of dollars into the technology, says, quote, AI and robots will replace all jobs. Working will be optional, end quote.
Yeah, but Elon is talking out of his butt, Mr. Sanders. We are going to replace our military with robots, unmanned drones, unmanned vehicles, and robot soldiers. Yes, we are working on that. We are doing it because we don't need these people. You're right, Mr. Sanders. We don't need them no more. So they've done more damage than they have good. So we are on our way to changing this country, and they deserve to be wiped out and everything. A bunch of diseased pricks injecting people with sicknesses and disease, and people going to the hospital getting operations and coming out worse than what they are in Indiana. Yeah, that was shocking too. So I agree 100%. The world is going to change. If you don't like it, move. Get out of the USA. But this is all going to be happening real soon. Firebombing, all kinds of stuff. Biological stuff happening. Justice will get justice one way or another. I heard there's a bunch of people getting semis ready, remote control semis ready to run these dudes down on their tricycles. And yeah, it's turned into a Mad Max movie, but we're here to support them 100%. Technology, yes, we really don't need to pay these people anymore. They're actually causing us more than anything. We're catching a lot of these guys that are military soldiers, but in real life, they're gangbangers and club owners and yada, yada, yada. So everything's going as scheduled. What a great mission that was, right? You blow up a couple places while everyone's going, oh my God, they're blowing up the south side of town. You go in with the helicopters and you pull the president out and his wife. Works every time. So now that the world knows that we've just had enough, we've had enough. You can't fix us. You broke us, and now we're breaking YouTube. We're breaking the USA. You're like a wild stallion. We're going to have to break you.
Bill Gates, hundreds of billions of dollars into this technology. Quote, humans won't be needed for most things. Well, I got a simple
Bingo.
question. If there are no jobs and humans won't be needed for most things, how do people get an income to feed their families, to get health care, or to pay the rent?
Don't care.
There's not
They
been
shouldn't have
one
tried killing me,
serious word of
Mr.
discussion
Sanders.
in the
It's
Congress
not my
about
problem.
that reality. Issue number 3. Studies out there tell us what we all know to be true. Young people now are spending an enormous amount of time with AI. There are kids who are now getting most of their emotional support from AI.
Yeah.
If this trend continues, what does it mean over the years when people are not getting their support, their interaction from other human beings, but from a machine? What does that mean to humanity? And maybe last but not least, I did a symposium at Georgetown with.
You know, I don't know what it's done to humanity, Mr. Sanders. But, you know, they sleep with animals in the USA. What do you think that does for humanity, sir? What do you think robots and drones and unmanned vehicles and everything are the last of my worries? The last. Right. I just did a video the other day, Mr. Sanders, where these people are sleeping with animals and the disease has spread so much in the USA. And with all the doctors that you have here that ain't even from America, that don't know a hole from a butthole, this mission was very easy to accomplish. Yeah, it sucks, but it's true. Now, what are they doing with the police departments? Well, there's a new police department in Indiana being created right now, the Citizens Police. And they will handle the police departments that are corrupt out here in Indiana. And that's, you know, Trump was saying that too, that we love our bikers. We do, but it's not our bikers that are doing it. It's these other ones and other, you know, the bad ones. So you got to hit them. You got to hit them across the board. You know, firebomb their businesses and stuff like that, their churches. You really got to take it to them. That's what you really got to do. All right, let's listen to some more.
Jeffrey Hinton, who is considered to be the godfather, Nobel Prize winner of AI. He thinks that AI is soon going to be smarter than human beings. So the science fiction fear of AI running the world is not quite so outrageous a concept as people may have thought it was. Those are some of the issues that are out there.
On the subject of the replacement of military.
Well, Mr. Sanders, 10 years ago, I talked about this on a video that we are replacing everybody. AI, we will use AI in certain areas on our unmanned vehicles and soldiers. Yes, that's what we'll be doing in the USA. You know, like I said, we're tired of the religion. We're tired of the bad guys. We're tired of everything. You know, people stealing our souls, our energy, yada, 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 witchery, sorcery, you know, the same old stuff. So AI will be used on certain things. Is it as smart as humans or whatever? You know, probably, because if you notice, there ain't too many smart people left in America. You know, they've all been diseased. Or if you watch AI, you know, AI is pretty much taken over YouTube and the internet. So what's real and what ain't real, no one knows. And how do you deal with that? Just open fire on anything that moves. That's how you solve that problem. Oh, we're having trouble with AI. We don't know. We can't teach them. Open fire. Light it up. That's how we determine, because we're pretty much sick of the bullshit lies and you're under arrest. I ain't under arrest. Your whole country is under arrest. And you all now are terrorists. I don't care if you wear a badge or not. You're hostages now in my country. And we're going to use our technology to wipe every single one of you out. You should have never picked on retards and children. You should have never touched my children. And some of you YouTubers found out the hard way. And some more of you are going to find out the hard way. Give two shits if you belong to a fucking biker gang. You bunch of cocksucking fuck faces. Now let's continue with our mission.
Millions of jobs. I want to play something that the CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, said last month about that topic.
AI is the most profound technology humanity is ever working on, and it has potential for extraordinary benefits, and we will have to work through societal disruptions. Right. It will create new opportunities. It will evolve and transition certain jobs, right? And people will need to adapt.
Now, the way he talks about it is, this is happening, and we, humanity, need to figure out how to adapt to it.
Right? While they make huge amounts of money. Yeah. Well, I think one of the things I think we need to do, and right now, among many other things, we're seeing data centers sprouting all over the country, raising electric bills for people in the communities, etc. I think we need to be thinking seriously about a moratorium on these data centers. Frankly, I think you got to slow this process down. It's not good enough for the oligarchs to tell us it's coming.
Yes, it is coming, but we are going after the power company, because you're not going to charge me extra because some fuck face in apartment 32 or whatever is running a microwave machine that he tore apart in his apartment, and he's got a small microwave device jamming everybody's signal. We're not paying for it. We ain't paying for it. This is a government-funded facility, and we're not funding these cocksuckers anymore, or any of these broads, or any of this witchery shit, sorcery in America no more. Firebomb.
You adapt. What are they talking about? They're going to guarantee health care to all people? What are they going to do when people have no jobs? What are they going to do? Make housing free? So I think we need to take a deep breath, and I think we need to slow this thing down. One way to do it would probably be a moratorium on data centers.
The CEOs would no doubt say you would be stifling entrepreneurship and innovation.
Well, I look at it a little bit different. And I think as a nation, as a world, we have got to do it. Is technology bad? Of course it's not.
Well, we have to do it, Mr. Sanders. The devil continues to steal. Now, we chopped a couple of their hands off. We're not going to lie. We took someone's hand, right? Because the devil they were hacking our shit and stealing and getting our kids' photos and our data. So, yes, we did very bad things to that person. And we ain't done yet, sir. See, we do not live in a country where we're used. Our social security numbers are used. Our driver's license numbers are used. Any business that asks you what your driver's license number is up to no good, or asks for your social security number is no good. Now, what else do you got to do? Well, Social Security has to reissue these people's Social Security numbers. You're not going to wipe out the American citizens' credit and get away with it, firebomb it, and their businesses.
There are good aspects, bad aspects. The function of technology must be to improve life for human beings, not make Musk and Zuckerberg and Bezos even richer than they are. So let us work together to say, okay, if technology is going to radically improve worker productivity, are we going to reduce the work week substantially, making sure that workers continue to get the same pay?
Right.
If workers are thrown out on the street, how are they going to have health care? Obviously, let's guarantee health care to all people as a human right, etc.
So you talked about a moratorium on these new data centers.
Yeah.
What are some of the other recommendations you want Congress to take as soon as possible?
I think we need to vigorously study the impact that AI is having on the mental health of our country. Kids now, among other things, kids can't read books anymore. It's too hard. Their attention span is too weak. So what we need to do is, I worry very much about kids spending their entire days getting emotional support. So we have got to take a hard look at that. And if we conclude that these technologies are creating more isolation, more loneliness, more mental illness, you know what? We got to figure out a way to stop it.
So the president just blocked states from taking on any sort of AI regulation.
Right.
All right, good call. He blocked all the states from saying, you can't do this, you can't. Well, we can now because it's federal law. It's like cannabis now. Trump deregulated it or whatever. It's baby crap now. Cannabis, which a whole bunch of cannabis stores are going to be popping up in Indiana. And a lot of people, you can't do it. Shut up. Shut your fat trap hole. You know how much money we lost out on because you refused to sell cannabis, but yet everybody in your whole dang state is working at cannabis stores in other states around us? You know, that's what I brought to Trump. How are you going to do this one, Trump? These idiots are working there. And they're coming and they're picking up their customers for buying cannabis from them, but they're letting the guys that are distributing it, you know, walk away. How are you going to pull that one off? We're going to start firebombing and taking over these cannabis stores. You know, but then he heard my video and he changed shit right away. So, yeah, it's going to get ugly in 2026. The only thing I can do is jump on board with The Simpsons because they've already predicted this mess. So most of us are just jumping on board with it, right? Hellfire all the way to the end.
Meanwhile, Congress hasn't done anything. I mean, you are trying. Senator Hawley and Senator Britt on the other side of the aisle are trying, but there doesn't seem to be much of an appetite. Is that because you think these AI technologies, the companies are so wealthy and affecting the willingness of legislators to do their job?
That's a very important part of it. Look, Elon Musk himself contributed over $270 million to elect Donald Trump the president. These guys have now come up with their super PACs to try to make sure that there is no regulation. So yeah, they are a very, very powerful entity, and I think that is one of the reasons why Congress has not been responding effectively.
Some Republican lawmakers, as I mentioned, Hawley and Britt, open to regulating. Others seem wary of any sort of involvement in this technology. Do you think ultimately that there will be a bipartisan majority willing to take any sort of action?
Well, any sort of action is what is that?
Any sort of legitimate action.
Significant action.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, you are, again, this technology is not being pushed by mom and pop store owners. It is being pushed by the wealthiest handful of the wealthiest and most powerful people on earth. Can they be stopped? I don't know. But that raises a broader issue, the future of democracy, because it's not just AI and technology. These guys have unbelievable wealth, unbelievable power. What does that mean to the future of democracy?
That's another great question that we're going to end.
Mr. Sanders, I really do like you. You usually are for the people. But the truth, sir, is there is no democracy. The whole system was designed to keep people in power. You go to the voting polls, but it don't matter who you vote for anymore. They put in who's they're going to put in. That's what I was trying to tell these people. You vote for who I put in front of your face, and that's it. Them are your candidates. You pick. Democracy? What democracy? That was thrown out the window. We ripped the cover off of the book and threw that out the window a long time ago. Democracy. There never was democracy. It was all an act, all a scam. Now I've had enough of this part 2 or part 1 of Breaking YouTube. One of the greatest movies ever being created right in front of your face. AI generated? Maybe. AI deciding who lives, who dies? Probably. Probably. But we're not letting big business get away with anything anymore, are we? Probably not. I'm sure their businesses and everything will be fired by them. How are you going to rape people and make the people pay for AI and computer places? That's why our electric bill is so we're paying for shit we don't even use. Yeah, the war has begun. It is January the 3rd. And 2006 is already hit with a bang. Continue the mission until they pay us our money and restore our health and run them all over. Continue working on the unmanned vehicles and distribute them within America's city limits and highways and everything. And that's just what it's going to be, folks. We already have proof that the government, the police in certain states are corrupt and have gotten away with murder on the mass amounts. We will no longer need these city and state police. We are creating new police. Robots. As we speak right now. Drones. You name it. We're working on it. We ain't stopping. Why? Because it's a government contract. That's why. You don't like it, get the F out of the country. Because that's the way the USA is going. You messed with the wrong people. You messed with the wrong people. You injected the wrong people. You messed with the wrong people. You picked on the wrong people. You raped and pillaged the wrong people. And now we got psychotic madmen. Oh, well, there's nothing we can do about it but sit back and watch it. You've been watching the Johnny Kramer Music Movie Channel. where we've been bringing you many great movies and things for many, 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 many years on this country's silver screen. Now, the rest of you folks out there who think you are going to survive this, well, don't forget, Trump don't run the whole shit and shebang. And even Trump's a puppet. So I imagine you bad boys, bad toys that are on these lists right here. Of every single terrorist group, foreign and domestic. And we're not worried about ISIS all the way over yonder. We should have cut a deal with them. We were on the good with them, and we still might cut a deal with them to help. But we're going to do this in America, not for only us, for our future and our children and grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren. This is something that must be done without waiting. Continue the mission. Some of you YouTubers out there are on this list, whether you like it or not. You fucked with the wrong dudes. We're going to open this country like a sardine can. Now, some of you folks are saying out there, Kentucky just had an earthquake. Was it an earthquake? Or is it my new sound device that'll shake the fucking earth, split it like a rock? I got work to do in the United States, President Trump. Stay out of my way, and I'll stay out of your way. Now, you folks have a great day. You've been watching the Johnny Kramer music movie, one of the greatest movies ever created, on YouTube or anywhere. You folks have a great day. It's Saturday. Is it Saturday? I think it is Saturday already. I will be back with more content. And it looks like it's chilly out there today. It certainly looks like it's chilly. But some of you witches and warlocks are going to get your heads served from stealing from me and other people. Our energy, our powers, our anointings, our healths, whatever. You can run to the police if you want, because rumor on the street says they're going to be hitting some of these cops. The Delphi case is still ongoing and an open case, and even them police are under scrupulation and on the list. This is all brought down from the big man himself. I told you, shit runs downhill. Once it hits me, we turn it around and the shit rolls back uphill. You're all wanted for terrorist activity, corruption, and a couple of things I can't mention because they probably chop your heads off right on TV for it. You're a bunch of sick people. Very evil. And like I said, until things are restored, get used to this in America, folks, and on Earth. You messed with the wrong people. Now, they're going to be sending demons and monsters and goblins and goblins and all kinds of stuff. When that happens, open fire. Firebomb everything. You want this world, devil? We're going to leave you this world, but it is going to be a molten ball of lava and disease and chemicals. God will get the last laugh in the end, Satan. We ain't backing down and we ain't fucking standing down. Now you keep making them semis that are remote control drones, and I'll keep driving them and flying them right here from my apartment. We have come up with new devices to take down even drones that are in police departments and everything. Microwaves are a motherfucker. They really are. And that's what we're using. Pretty soon we will have microwave uniforms for our people. You won't get around us. Your blood will boil before you even make it to us. Yeah. Get out of my way, government. Here I come. Now, the rest of you folks, make sure you sub and subscribe to one of the greatest movie channels that have ever been on Earth, ever been around. Well, that's just the price you guys pay for fucking with the wrong people. We'll see you in hell, because that's where we're sending you. You folks have a great day. God bless. Make sure you sub and subscribe to one of the greatest movie channels ever. Madness. We all know madness. I was raised in Chicago. It's just another day to me. Have a good day, folks. I'll be back with more content.